I think that if we're going to be fair, that was not the ass kicking that the final score would indicate. And in reality, it was more a sign that this could be a close series. Okay, let's begin with the Florida Panthers. They win game 1 in Raleigh. 5-2 is the final score. And yeah, there were a lot of moments during it at which you said, well, this game's over. And there was like a moment and a half where you thought, this game might not be over. Typically, unless they're playing a certain team, when the Panthers have their foot on the throat, they usually lean in, and that's that. So we all knew, I don't know, probably halfway through that game, what it was going to be. Panthers were going to win. They were going to win quite comfortably, and you get the 5-2 final that is really more 5-1 because the Hurricanes scored late. I think they scored late on the power play too. So it really should have been an ass kicking. But I wonder if it was. That's the type of game that I come away from, in all due respect to the Panthers, where I'm like, I bet everyone is going to go like all in on the Panthers winning this series and maybe even winning it quickly. This is the type of game that makes me think, not so fast. Again, all credit where it's due to the Panthers, but this was a little bit, to me, like game 1 of the Cup final last year, where like they won comfortably, but did they do my least favorite term in hockey other than snow showered? Did they goalie their opponent a little bit? Because I think they kind of did.
You think the Panthers kind of goalied the Hurricanes?
I think Bob kind of.
I mean, Bob was really good for sure, and like definitely the better goalie. But that I don't necessarily know if I think they goalied them. They benefited from some nice breaks in the first period. I will say that. Some of them came from their own goalie. Some of them came from bad officiating. The Sebastian Aho penalty that may have been the worst of the postseason, which is saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
Essentially gifted them a power play goal that they converted on. And then Jordan Stahl gifted them a puck in the offensive zone, which they converted on. So they got some breaks, but they took advantage of them. And then, like, from that point on, I didn't really ever feel like Carolina was super threatening in that game.
So, well, I go back and forth on if they were threatening. They were just like up Bob's ass. And
definitely figuratively and literally.
Yeah,
they were all over him in the crease too.
That's what I'm saying. If both teams continue to play the way that they played last night, the Hurricanes are going to win games. If you give me yes.
I mean, historically speaking, no, they are not.
No, because it's a conference final game, and the Hurricanes have now lost 13 in a row.
And now this is 5 straight games against the Panthers that they've won, quote unquote, or they've lost, quote unquote, close games that maybe they should have won, or like, let's talk about. That's 5 straight against Florida alone. And famously, Rod Brindamore, last time out after they got swept, said, well, those were 4 close games. It wasn't really a sweep. Yes, it fucking was.
Well, that was a sweep, and I will always make fun of that at every opportunity I can. But I'm just saying, I'm not saying that like the Hurricanes should have. I won't even say the Hurricanes should have won because they should have lost. They allowed more goals. That typically gets you a loss. And I am not a heavy user of expected goals for and expected goals against. But if you are, and that is like the most common thing I hear brought up, especially in the postseason, expected goals in that game were 65% in favor of the Hurricanes. The expected goals for 3.17 for the Hurricanes, 1.78 for the Panthers. So again, I say, I'm not saying that the Hurricanes should have won that game. I'm saying that was not the Panthers' best game.
Definitely
and
not.
If you keep doing those games, and if the Hurricanes keep getting as many chances in close on Bob, especially as the series goes on, we know what happens. Hurricanes are going to score some goals, and they're going to win some games. It's a crazy like first take to have after that game, but I am a big when I don't have a rooting interest, and I don't in this series, I just care about being fair. And I think that if we're going to be fair, that was not the ass kicking that the final score would indicate. And in reality, it was more a sign that this could be a close series.
I'm not gonna agree with the close series thing because again, historically, we've seen these two teams play like pretty good hockey together, and it has resulted in the Panthers winning every fucking time.
Yes.
What I will say is like, yeah, there's definitely positives or at least nuggets that you could take away from the Hurricane side, where you say this is the path to like us being okay here. And somebody in the chat mentioned the Morrow playing last night. I think he was -3, had a horrible penalty. He shouldn't play again in this series, or at least like put Nikishin back in. And so that's a step in the right direction. I think the penalty kill playing better is a step in the right direction. I think not giving the puck away if you're Jordan Stahl, step in the right direction. And if Bob is like 25% worse in some other games this series, you're going to have a much better chance. And like, I didn't think that the Canes no-showed. I didn't think they played a horrific game. They were outplayed yesterday, and there were some elements where I was like, okay, the Panthers are having their way with them a little bit, especially in the extracurricular department.
Definitely. I don't know how badly they were outplayed, though. I think they were outplayed, but not by much. I come away with this with that kind of odd feeling that I was talking to Sean before we got really rolling here, and sometimes in game ones, you get a kind of lopsided score, and it gives you that feeling that's like, I don't know if I'm buying this. I don't know if I'm going all in on this.
My
Sean?
only response to that, though, is just that, like, it's the Florida Panthers. So my look at this is more of a, like, Hurricanes need to win those games.
Yes.
And now that they've lost like they are not winning those games, I'm not going to necessarily expect that they are going to quote unquote outplay the Florida Panthers like that again,
or come as close. And that's the thing. Like I said, if both teams play the way that they did last night, the Hurricanes will win multiple games in this series. That is not me saying both teams are going to play the way they played it last night. I think that the Panthers, after a 5-2 win, are going to come back hard with a much better game than they turned in last night. Chad is having like a side conversation. They're all agreeing with each other that the Panthers gave a C game. Their words, not mine. I'll say that was not the Panthers' best game.
Definitely not.
And I'll say we will see the Panthers' best game at some point. So you've got a Panthers win when they didn't have their best game. They will win the game that they have their best game. That's 2 wins right there. How are the Hurricanes getting 4? They need to, as Sean said, when they are kind of in it, they got to consider the fact they're playing against the defending champs, a deeper team than them, and they need to not lose that game 5-2.
Did we not see this in the Cup final last year, where like the Oilers outplayed them or whatever in game 1 or 2, and we were like, probably need to win those games. And if they had,
I think it was game 1, they like severely outplayed them, and Bob kind of stole that game.
Yes, game 1 was the one that, and then I forget what happened in game 2. I think game 2,
the Oilers dominated and they still lost. Right? Or
that was game
other way around?
No, that was game 1.
Yeah.
One of the two. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a squandered opportunity does it feel like last night? Because you also have to consider the factor that Carolina was fresh, and the Panthers were coming off a 7-game series and a little bit older, maybe a little bit more banged up, and Carolina's at home in that game.
8 or 9. Like very, very high on the squandered opportunity thing. And Hurricanes fans, this is, I guess, the respect. Like, you did not get smoked in that game, and you came away with what should have been a 4-goal loss. Need better results. Someone said, what was the deserve to win meter? You're going to love this, folks. Sean, throw it up. Deserve to win meter, 70.5% in favor of the Carolina Hurricanes. In 1,000 simulations, 70.5% of them had the Carolina Hurricanes winning that game last night. So maybe you want to bump, and we joke about the deserve to win meter. I disagree with it in this case, but I do disagree with it suggesting that it was closer than 5-2.
I think the deserve to win meter is... I usually hate it. I hate it especially when it's tied to a Carolina Hurricanes game, because that is the ultimate deserve to win a meter team. Are they not?
Yeah, let me find, I think I retweeted it. Our guy, Pano, who does the deserve to win a meter standings, had a great, there it is, a great bit yesterday. Pano_KOU on Twitter.
It's Ambassador to Greece, correct?
Yes, correct.
What's that?
It's Ambassador to Greece in the chat.
Oh, yeah. 3 of the 4 conference finalists were the top 3 teams in the deserve to win a meter standings that were kept by Ambassador to Greece.
And that was during the regular season.
During the regular season, number 1, do you know who would have finished
Carolina
first in the
Hurricanes.
league if we went by deserve to win a meter?
Carolina Hurricanes.
Carolina Hurricanes. Number 2, Florida Panthers. Number 3, Edmonton Oilers. And Stars not too far down there. Number 10.
Who was 4 though?
4.
Who fucked up?
Oh, of course.
Oh, no.
Who fucked up this season?
The Buffalo Sabres?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, like...
exactly is not as expected for me. Oh, they're going to make the playoffs. But who's my number 1 fuck up team of the year?
That could be anybody.
The Nashville Predators?
They embarrassed me. They made me look bad. They ruined my reputation.
The Colorado Avalanche?
They cost me my family. The Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
They cost me. I don't want to talk about it. They cost me my family.
Kids aren't talking to them anymore.
I don't have a family anymore. I used to have a family, and the Colorado. Who's number 5? Speaking of teams that fuck things up,
The Nashville Predators.
It's the Boston Bruins.
Winnipeg Jets.
Okay.
So deserve to win a meter, ridiculous, but that is the type of game that, and I think I was saying it as I was looking for it. I was like, oh, this is the type of game that I bet the Hurricanes were like off the charts on deserve to win a meter.
It's the type
I
of
thought
game,
it would be
it's the
like
type of game why people hate the deserve to win a
yeah.
meter.
I thought it would be like 55%, but it was 70%. I did find something kind of useful though to at least back up my eye test point, which Sean on Money Puck, they had just like the scoring chances or the shots or whatever. Hurricane scoring chances is just like a sea of people on top of Bob. And that's why I thought they would score more goals than they did. And that's why I tip my cap to, I'd say the Panthers, but mainly to Bob.
I mean, eye test definitely validated that. Like you said, they were in Bob's ass all night long. And I think that's something they should definitely keep up. If you can rattle him physically, that's something that you should definitely try to do. I maybe would find a better way to do it than what Svechnikov did last night, which was throw a little cheap shot to Bob's head. And I know what people are going to say. You reap what you sow.
And Ekblad was up to his old tricks too.
Yeah, but he's specifically with the Panthers after the Bennett on Stolarz thing from last round. It's going to be a lot of reap what you sow kind of deal. But, I mean, path forward for Carolina, stay in that kitchen.
What do we think of Shane Gostisbehere shooting the puck at Brad Marchand, then Brad Marchand losing his fucking mind? I will say this controversially, and this will be used to ruin me in the future. I'll lose my family over it. I support whatever Brad Marchand does. He wants to lose his cool there. If he wants to end up in the box and giving the Hurricanes, I think it was a 2 or 3 goal game at that point.
Something like that.
The opportunity to crawl back in it. I'm like, you know what? They're going to kill it for our guy.
I mean, the Gostisbehere thing I did not like.
From Gostisbehere or Marchand?
From Gostisbehere.
I agree.
Did not like it.
Bitch shit.
100%. And I think, and I feel like you don't often see Marchand get really like upset or triggered.
Jeff Skinner, Mitch Marner are 2 that come to mind, and it's a pretty short list.
And
of like when he loses his shit, and you're like, yo, somebody like tie him down.
And it's usually when somebody goes against like the code. He's very gamesmanshipy, but if somebody goes against the code and does something disrespectful beyond, like he even gave credit to Sam Bennett when Sam Bennett elbowed him in the chin, was like, hey, that's gamesmanship. We're all trying to kill each other this time of year.
He was playing
when
long
it's
game.
Stuff like that, I think that's what really, really bothers him, and I get it.
We all silly like the mayor.